Hi, okay, ignore the terrible lighting. This is how it's gonna have to be for a while. I have no lamps, I have nothing. I just have natural lighting and pure darkness on the other side. So this is how it's gonna be. Yeah. So, moving and moving out and the stories thereof in of that. Okay, so it began about February. I decided that I wanted to move because my old apartment was subsidized by my school. And once I left the school, of course, my rent would no longer be subsidized. So I would have to get out of that apartment and move to somewhere else. Also, I've been wanting to move out of the place I used to live in because it was nowhere near where most of my friends were. There were some friends where I used to live, and I loved them, but they were not my core group of friends. My core group of friends were farther away. They were like an hour away, and I wanted to live closer to my support group, and I wanted to be able to go do things with them, and I wanted to be able to see them more often. So I decided it was time to move and get out, and yeah, just done, just get out. So that's what I did. I moved, but the process of moving did not go as planned, and it did not go as smoothly as I would have hoped for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons being I don't have a license, and I needed somebody to come down and help me move with a moving van all the way up to my new location. Luckily, I have a really amazing friend. You may have seen him in a previous video for, I think it was the Filipino night, where he did all the cooking. His name is Mr. D or Daryl, depending on how you know him. And he was wonderful. Came down and helped me get stuff into my van. And by my van, I mean a Toyota rental van, but still. We all had a fun time, like driving up and listening to music on his iPad, and just good memory there. But the thing is, we got stuff into the van, but I still had a lot of stuff left over that I needed to get rid of. So I went to thrift shops and I sold a whole bunch of things in the hopes that I could like even out my moving costs. I didn't. That didn't go according to plan. I actually went ahead and just recycled a whole bunch of the bigger things because I knew from past experience that selling the bigger things in like a countryside area, having people try to come and pick it up, was near impossible. So I just went ahead and I had a really cheap recycling service come, and they just like took a whole bunch of stuff and recycled it for me, so that then I didn't have to worry about selling it and whatever at the last minute. So that was good. But okay, basically I spent more money trying to get rid of stuff than actually selling it or actually like taking it with me, because I didn't have the money to take it with me. So I ended up like kind of just getting rid of everything, and that's really sad. I lost a lot of stuff that was really personal to me. My room is pretty much bare. I have a $30 desk that I just picked up from a station, and I have a bookshelf, and then I have fake bookshelves that I made out of cardboard. There's my bed, and then there's my closet. Like, there's really nothing much in my room right now because I had to throw it all away. I had to throw a lot of stuff away. I had to throw a lot of blankets away that are actually really meant a lot to me, that were presents from people, and I'm really sad about that. I'm like still sad about that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I wish I could have kept, and I couldn't. I couldn't keep it. I had to throw it away, and it sucks. It really sucks. And when it comes to getting the apartment itself, that's a whole other thing. I had to go up to the place. I had to go see apartments. So I had to go see apartments and say yes or no to them. And so I kept going back and forth and back and forth. And that cost money. And at the time I was like, oh, I'm fine because I saved up money. But then I had to put the down payment on the apartment, because at the time my roommate and I was the better suited person for that. So that's what I did. But then so I didn't get a job until later than I thought I would too. I thought I was going to get a job much earlier, but I actually got rejected from a place that I thought for sure I was going to get a job in really quickly, and it screwed up the whole schedule, and it screwed up my money. So, yeah, basically, me having to come up and down, rent a van, and get everything done, it put me in a hole, and I just got really depressed from it. Still really depressed about it, and I'm going to talk about the job in the next video, but specifically with the moving part, it was losing so much of my stuff, I think, that really, like, bothered me. It was a lot of stuff that I really liked, a lot of stuff that mattered to me, and a lot of stuff that, like, I just didn't think about it mattering to me until it was gone, and then it's gone. Like, there's no way to replace it. A lot of that stuff was presents that people got for me, and because I don't buy stuff for myself, really. Like, I just don't. I usually just rely on, like, family and friends just giving me things, and I keep them forever. So whenever I have to throw something away, it hurts. It hurts a lot. So that happened. And then just the moving process in and of itself of trying to find a place with a roommate was kind of a pain in the ass, because in Japan, they're not foreigner friendly for most apartments. Fun facts. Like, it's just not a good thing. And here's why there's a lot of them that aren't unfriendly. So the landlord may be fine with foreigners, but is the guarantor company that you need to have for most apartments gonna be okay with it? If the guarantor company isn't okay with it, but the landlord is, it doesn't matter, that it's still not a foreigner-friendly apartment because the guarantor company isn't. Also, is the company that actually owns the property okay with foreigners coming in? And if not, then no, it's not a foreigner-friendly apartment. So there's a 3-step process to owning an apartment in Japan most of the time, where you have the landlord, you have a guarantor company, and then you have a property company. And all 3 of them have to like foreigners, otherwise it's not foreigner friendly. And it's perfectly legal for them to just reject you because you're a foreigner. Now, we already had that against us, but then on top of that, it's 2 people who are not married and who are not family, and so we need to get an apartment together somehow without those things. Usually they'll make exceptions for, are you married? Or are you in a relationship, long-standing relationship maybe? They may be fine with that, but we're just friends. So that was a whole other process where they were like, oh, well, sorry. And also, yeah, as you can imagine, LGBTQ things in Japan, even if we said we were a couple, we're 2 girls, they would have not accepted it most of the time. I know very, very few companies that are really friendly towards same-sex couples having a place together. I can't even, I think there's only like 2, and I can't even remember the names of them. I'd have to look them up. So yeah, it's a whole thing. So yeah, so we kept having this problem where we were doing a real estate agent this way, doing a different company this way, doing this, that, and the other, and trying to do emails and go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and try and find something that was in our budget, something that was foreigner friendly, something that would accept 2 ladies who were not together, living together, who were not sisters or something. So that was a whole thing. That was a whole long thing, a whole long process. Finally, we found this apartment that we love, and it worked out, but having to move into here was also another thing, because I had to move in earlier than I thought for job training. I was going to start job training, and I was going to start, like, interviews again for other things, because I wasn't sure about one of the jobs I was going to get, or maybe get. So I had to be here, though, in the event that I did get a job that I liked, and I had to start job training immediately. And that's actually pretty much what happened, is I got a job offer and I started training. So moving here early was good, but moving here early also meant that I had to pay more for the down payment into the apartment. So that was, that sucked. That sucked. So it was a lot of that. It was a lot of different details and a lot of different things that I didn't expect and I didn't like plan for, and money that I ended up spending a lot more of than I had really planned for. And like, it shouldn't have been such a big deal if I had gotten my job earlier, but I didn't. The job came later than I intended, and so everything didn't go according to plan. Like, everything didn't go according to the plan I had it in my head, that I would get a job in March, and then I would be working in April, and then I'd have money in April area. Nope, that's not what happened. That's just not what happened. And yeah, so I got a job in April, and I ended up getting paid in June. Ugh. And so it's just kind of, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So I will talk about the job next time. I'm gonna just keep this one short and sweet. It's kind of vague because I am very paranoid about giving out my exact location of where I live, either before or after, and jobs like before or after. But that's kind of basically how things got so stressful with moving and how I got so deeper into money problems with this. Regrets I have include, like, I really wish that I had saved up more. I wish that I had just moved with like I keep saying I wish that I had just moved with a moving company, even though I know it would have been twice as much money as what I spent. But if I had moved with a moving company, then I would have just been it would have been all in one day. They would have done it for me, and I wouldn't have had to worry so much about like losing all my stuff. So that would have been nice. And I wouldn't have had to pay for a fridge again. I wouldn't have had to pay for another desk. Stuff like that. Like, I kind of regret not doing a moving company, but I also know that it would have also been way outside of my budget because I was moving an hour away over two prefecture areas. And so that's like, that wouldn't have been good. That wouldn't have been good. So, yeah. What else was I? Oh, and also regrets I have is that I didn't just go ahead and move in by myself into a share house temporarily, maybe for like, I don't know, just like a few months and waited until I saved up more money or something. I wish I had done this smarter somehow. I wish I had been smarter about how I moved. I wish I'd maybe moved first and then like job later or something, because like doing both of them at the same time was horrendously difficult, and it was all by myself basically, like for the job and then also like the apartment things. The roommate helped, but I was doing a lot of the emails, and I was the one that ran up to sign paperwork, and I was the one who had to do like the down payments and things in my name because it was better for me to do it. At the time, I had less school. I had less school time than I previously had before because I was in between the things. I was still getting paid, but I was not having to go to work as often, so I was more available to go do things. But yeah, so it was just I just wish that I had done it smarter. I wish that I had done it smarter than how I did it. So yeah, it was a lot of that. So yeah. So that's basically the moving story. So I gotta go to work. I'm about to be late. So see you guys in the next video. Bye.